Hello everybody and welcome to ServiceNow Expeditions. We explore the ServiceNow universe step by step. Joining you today are your guides Mike, Ula and Ivan. And in this video we are going to continue the topic we started last week about advanced reference qualifiers. Today we have decided to dive a little bit deeper, and for this purpose, I'm handing over the stage to you, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Ivan. So then please go into the catalog item we had opened the last time and prepared accordingly. Yes, this was the user view on this catalog item, and we will continue on this and use another option for the reference qualifier, the requested for field.
Yeah, and just for those who were not attending our last video, we have explored the options that allow you to specify a reference qualifier in a simple mode, where you can basically use in a reference qualifier condition builder, prepare what kind of subset of records should be identified and available for selection in the specific field. And today we are moving on to more advanced options. So where do we go from here, Mike?
Yeah, so in reality, we often have use cases which requires to go more in detail and to implement something, because this condition builder only allows us to select fields which are available. The manager is dynamic, me for example. But what if we have more complex use cases? For example, make sure that the user which is being selected is part of any user group, or any other use cases. Maybe, Ola, do you have another use case in mind which is relevant for the real use case?
In general, most cases tend to lean onto the more advanced options as time goes by. So if possible, then you should go for the simpler solution, but sometimes it's just not enough.
So, and if you want to implement these kind of scenarios, we need another mode here. At the moment, it's selected use reference qualifier as a simple mode, with the condition builder. And if we click on this, we have another two options, and one of these is script. The second one, the dynamic option, we will skip for the moment. If there's time, we can continue on this, but now we need the advanced. Yeah, this is also a cool feature. To be honest, I saw this the first time, so that the condition builder is automatically transferred here into this reference qualifier field as an encoded query. But now we want to go the more advanced way and add a JavaScript. And for this, we need the prefix JavaScript at the beginning.
The same way as we have seen it in the simple reference qualifier when we tried to pull in the current sysid of the current user. We started here as well with the JavaScript to initiate the JavaScript code.
So there's one important thing which was a bit confusing to me at the beginning of my learning in ServiceNow, because if you write JavaScript here, you might think you have to write something to the output as we do this in the script console, right? Something like gs.info. But here, the return of this field is another encoded query. This has to be written into the output stream of this field. ServiceNow is executing this field and expect in the output on the server side another encoded query. So we will see this in the script. We have prepared something. Ivan, could you please paste this script, this prepared script into this field here? Yes. So, and to highlight what I said in the last line, we don't write something like gs.info, but another encoded query. Now, this is the difference here to other kind of scripting we do in ServiceNow. So what we are doing here at the end, sysid in, and then there's an array which is joined. So we collect the allowed users, which are then offered in the field for selection via this kind of encoded query. Sysid in means return all users which correspond to one of these sysids we return here in this field. What is expected by ServiceNow if we go this way? Now, expected is another encoded query. We had this in the last video. Everything is an encoded query here in the reference qualifier. But if we go the JavaScript way, we just built another complex encoded query. And here in this case, we built an encoded query which returns sysids. Now, this is just a simple database query. So now let's go to the beginning and start what we are doing here. So the use case is the following. We have a user group with a certain sysid. The sysid is in the second line. And this is the user group you prepared, Ivan. I think it was named ServiceNow crew, ServiceNow expedition crew, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can open this sysid with the help of the SN user so we can see this in action again, because this is always helpful.
I love it. So how we can use ServiceNow utils to quickly open the sysid is we just need to type sysid and then paste it, and then even without pressing anything else, ServiceNow utils will look for the corresponding record and open it.
I'm the manager.
Oh yes, got promoted. All right, we have found the sysid, and on the top in the URL address line, you can see the parameter sysid corresponds to what we have in our advanced reference qualifier.
Yeah, and can you please go back to the user group? Yep. So what we are doing here is now we are collecting the sysids of the 6 group members. So we are iterating this user group, select the sysids, and then these sysids are put onto the stack of the array. And at the end, this array is joined back to a string. And then the string, this comma-separated string, then will be returned along with the additional encoded query qualifier. This is the idea of the JavaScript. So we will only allow in the selection of the user field users which are member of this user group here.
And as you can see, we are not building this query based on the sys user group table, which has or contains the groups, right? We are making or building this query based on the other table, which is called sys user gr member, and this table is connecting the members and the groups, creating this relationship, and it's how we can easily extract the users from one single place.
Yes, you're right. I was too fast in my thinking. Yes, this was the missing link here to this table. This user gr member. Yeah. So let's talk about also best practices. So you often heard in the community in any documentation, don't use sysids in the code. And the recommendation is to create a system property, and then you can pull the sysid from a system property. For making things easier, I just wrote it that way, but in a real life project, I also recommend to externalize the sysid, not to use it in the code, because whenever this user group is changing based on any changing user stories or requirements, then you need to know where in your scripts you have utilized this sysid. So therefore, make it more configurable via, for example, a system property.
Also, the entire concept of adding an entire script in this qualifier condition field, to me personally, is bad practice. You should always, this is code and you should stick in your library in a script include. So
Yeah.
for the next developer, it will be easier to find.
That's right. So then you see there's a query on this table, which then returns all the group members. And in a while loop, we are iterating over all users, and then we put the sysID or push the sysID into an array. So there's another thing which is not recommended, or let's say not the best practice. This is the line user.sysID to string. So there's a performance issue with this, and I often see this in example codes across the community, and also I also have seen this in ServiceNow provided examples. If you do this .sysID to string, you have another .walk, and this means it's an extended database query in the background. So there's no need to do this. So what you can do is here gr user get value. That way you are using the sysID
or
which
actually
is provided in a record.
Get value. Can we also use get unique value?
No, because the unique this method will return the sysID of the record in this in the table sys user gr member, but we want to have the sysID of the user, which is in this user field.
Yeah.
It's
yes.
yeah,
we want to pull the user sysID.
Oh, sorry.
Exactly. So, and the not so experienced users might wondering why we are pushing everything into an array and then join this array at the end. This is another performance trick, let's say this, because I also see often string concatenation. And this is will consume a lot of space in the memory if you do this. And pushing everything onto an array and then joining afterwards is the more performant way to concatenate a string at the end. Exactly. So that's the script. And after saving, we should be able to test this in the employee center. Oh no, there's an error. We see now if you see this, that all users are coming, something is broken in your script. So let's go back. It was working. So this is a good chance to test the script before. This is what I also recommend here. Don't rely on a working script here. What you're ending here is permanently correcting something and then retry in the employee center, and you will never find out what is the problem here. So therefore, copy everything, or let's say not everything, after JavaScript, also beginning with var gr user at the beginning, until not the last line, because yeah, you can also use the last line and then we rewrite this, because this is not what, yeah, exactly. And then let's try this out in a background script.
This this behavior can also be changed. The default thing is for the system is to return all rows if the query is incomplete or errored out. You can also change it to return no results.
Yeah, I know what you mean. This works for wrong encoded query. So, but maybe there's another issue which is not related to the query itself, because at the moment it looks fine for me. It might be also that there's a JavaScript error, and this is also the situation where the form will return all users. No, we should have had a look into the syslog. But let's try this out. So in the last line, please also add a gs.info so we can see what is returned here.
And now let's try and run it.
So this is Ah, yeah.
A typo.
Actually, yes, it's a typo because we are having our array stored in the in the variable called our users, and we are joining an existing users app. So we are fixing that.
Yeah.
And then
So, and
sorry,
this is the second
app users, our users.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Our users. It's Sunday after all, right? All right.
This is the second situation when the user field will return all users, in case you have any error in our JavaScript. So therefore, always test this before you use this in your reference qualifiers. Can you rerun this, please?
Yeah, now we are good.
Okay, this was.
Now we can move it back. Replace the code here. Oh, sorry, not without JavaScript. Then save it.
No. This is also dangerous. I would never do this because you also included now the GS info.
Sorry.
The things you did in the background script. So therefore, I would just replace the error itself and not copy the whole script back, because maybe you have added more GS info in your script and then you are just removing it.
The problem is also that this is like a normal text field. It has no IntelliSense in the background, so you do not see any highlighted errors.
Exactly.
You see nothing. So now let us save it. Let us check it on the portal. And here we go.
Hey.
Yeah, that's it.
So now of those crew members might get some ideas about becoming a leader.
We should also talk about an important aspect here, because this kind of reference qualifier is not that performant, right? Imagine you have a user group with thousands of users, and you are collecting these users in your script in the last line. And at the end, you have an encoded query, which is, I don't know how many characters it will have, but you can imagine.
You can imagine this is one sysid. Imagine if there is 1,000 of those sysids connected over a comma inside of an encoded query. This is definitely something that does not look right.
So unfortunately, I cannot give an exact answer. What is the limit, the maximum limit of an encoded query in terms of number of characters you are allowed to send to the database? I heard different values. The last I heard was about 7 kilobytes, but I'm not really sure. This should be someone asked ServiceNow. But at the end, you have to be aware of what do you expect when creating such advanced reference qualifiers, and if you concatenate all the sysids in the last line, whenever it's possible, try to find a more performant option. For example, any kind of reference qualifier which is not using sysids at the end.
Yeah.
I also know that there's a limitation in workspaces in regards to this, that if you have a too long a qualifier, then it won't correctly display the options.
I have recently a kind of a use case where I wanted to just make a similar reference qualifier with which in return gave me about 100 sysids, and it was already noticeable how slower it became.
Okay, now it's working. And now we can also come back to the proposal of Ola to put all the code into a script include for maintenance reasons, because this is not maintainable over the time.
Reusability.
And reusability, and also we want to leverage the code editor and not this plain text editor, which is really not helpful to find any issues here in the code. So therefore, let's copy everything.
Yeah, I have copied everything except for JavaScript. And then we have prepared the simple blank script include, which is following kind of a naming convention and is determined to have reference qualifiers inside. And here is where we need to define our method. So how do we call it?
Yeah, the naming convention is a large topic. Can we have a look on the form again? I cannot remember anymore the name of the field. What was the name? Expedition leader.
So
yeah,
we
then
will get expedition leader.
Yeah. I wouldn't add again anything like ref call because it's part of the script include name. So this would be doubled in that way.
Doesn't make sense. So now here I need to paste the code. What is happening? Oh yeah, okay. So and now I'm using the onboarded format code feature. Now I need to
we can use this because here we have to return something.
Exactly. This is not enough. And when we call a method, we need to specify explicitly what are we returning and at what stage. So in this case, the final result should always be accompanied with a return special word. Now I can save it. And in terms of parameters, in this case, we don't need anything because this is a pretty static information we just getting from the table using the simple query. And
don't remove the empty lines. So this topic of the beauty of code is something I also wanted to write a longer article about because there's a reason why I'm including a lot of empty lines because it's more readable. And but this is another topic, maybe more for the community.
Yes, sometimes when I copy between different text editors or code editors, some unnecessary new lines might appear. So I'm not touching what you created. I'm just removing the unnecessary one.
We can now use it, and for the easy usage, I recommend copying the complete API name because it's a bit longer and there's a risk of writing it in the wrong way.
Exactly. So we are now copying it and going back to our reference qualifier. We are going to delete everything after JavaScript and put a word new to initialize or instantialize a new version of our script include, and then we put dot and
stop.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly. This one, right?
Yeah. This is the so-called constructor, and you cannot leave this out.
Exactly. Yeah. After the constructor, we need to put what was the name? Get expedition leaders method, and then as well we need to add the constructor of the function. So
one test question here. Unfortunately, sorry, I'm liking here these kind of test questions. What about returning? Do we need a return after JavaScript?
No, as we are already returning it here.
Exactly.
Now I can save it. I can come here, refresh, and it's not working.
No, it will not work. And do you know why?
Let's check. I don't know. That's the reason why we have Ola here.
I know.
In the meeting. You know why? Okay, this is interesting. Yeah. Let me check.
Technically, all the code is correct. But the issue is in the script include.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to the script include.
This time, the script include is not client callable.
Oh.
Ah, yes, you're
exactly.
right.
This is needed whenever you're using a script include outside of its backend, which is the service portal, the workspaces, all other interfaces, then you need to check the client callable to allow it to call this script include.
You're absolutely
Ola
right.
have just saved the day, and now
And
it's
now,
not working.
because you added this client callable, then some things in the prototype must be reworked for it to work. So you need to remove all the code and then check
Oh,
the
yeah,
client callable.
exactly. Ah, okay. So if we change the name, then it will react immediately.
Yeah.
And as we can see here, we do not have initialize method, right? Which is called during the construction, right? And then we have the abstract Ajax processor connected to the script include, so that's why.
No, stop. Don't paste it below type. Please paste it before, because there's with a missing comma. No. Yeah, okay, we can try this. This also fine, but then you have to.
Let's save it.
Yeah.
Now let's come here. And it's not working. After years and years in space of looking and researching for the problem, we finally identified it. So, as you can see here, Expedition Leader is not returning what we expect, right? And the problem is that while we were creating our script include, we forgot to make it accessible from all other scopes. And as you know, Service Portal is in a different scope, even though our item is in the Service Expedition application scope. So now if we go back and refresh the page, Expedition Leader returns exactly the subset we want.
Yay.
The members of the group. Yoo-hoo! So our dear listeners across the galaxy and the universe of ServiceNow, unfortunately for us, the working hours are running faster in space, and we are ready to wrap this session up. And for that, I'm handing over the stage to you, Ula.
Thank you. So we've seen today, sometimes the simple reference qualifiers are just not enough, and for that you have some more advanced options which we will just started diving into. You should mind to not use that field, the qualifier condition field, for scripting, although you can. Preferably, you should put all the logic inside the script include and use that, so your code becomes more manageable, more reusable, easily to maintain and find. And finally, you should be aware of the performance of your scripts that you're writing. So in this example, it's working and it's kind of nice, but as time goes by and more research will be returned, this could be a performance issue. So be careful.
And of course, do not forget about security. But this is something we will cover in our next videos. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next expedition. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.